Marriage is a blessing from God. Marriage is an institution that God established for the blessing of mankind and for reprocreation. Unfortunately, marriage has become a death trap for many people all over the world. My name is Joseph Atu. I have about 2 decades experience working with the vulnerable and the less privileged. I'm going to be talking about marriage and to talk about the causes for the failures of marriage, because if we understand the causes for the failure, it's going to help us to navigate through it, to overcome it, and to fulfill the purpose of God for marriage and to live a happy life. One of the major causes for the failure of marriage is financial burden or undiscussed debt. Money and undiscussed debt has become a reason for failure of many marriages. A man walks into a marriage with a lady and is indebted, and the person have not discussed with his spouse that I have collected 200 million naira debt, and then the wife walked into that marriage and she has a huge debt to settle with the husband. So this is one of the reasons that causes failure in marriages. The second reason is trouble opening up to our spouses. A lot of people walk into marriage without understanding their spouses. You start a relationship, in 2 months you are in the marriage, you want to go to do court marriage, you want to go and do church or marriage in the mosques without understanding the person. So it is one of the major causes for failure in marriages. I stumbled on a book written by Brett Semba, and she talked about the fact that marriage, let me quote her, that nobody goes into marriage with the intention of divorce. Quote, I close my quote. So nobody walk into marriage with the intention for divorce. And that research and that book, that statement by Brett Sembler touched my heart. And one of the research that she did was that 50% of marriages in US end up in divorce or separation. And I see that this is gradually coming to Nigeria because it's becoming a big deal. Marriage, divorce, separation is becoming a big deal, and we're having children without parental care, mortgaging the future of our country. Number 3, lack of sexual intimacy. Lack of sexual intimacy. Brett mentioned something about lack of sexual intimacy, and I quote, "A healthy sex life is fundamental part of most marriages." A healthy sex life. End of quote. So people have different libido levels, and if you don't talk about it, it affects the marriage. It breeds unchastity in the marriage. It breeds cheating on one another. So it's something that we need to talk about it, because we talk about the issue and the solution. So the solution is for couples to talk about it, to communicate. And if you are having difficulty in communicating, what should you do? Look for a counselor. Discuss and go to a counselor and discuss it. And the counselor will help you because they are trained. Running a family is one of the reasons for the cause of divorce and separation. In-law, mother-in-law, father-in-law, siblings having unbearing influence on the marriage is one of the causes for divorce and separation. Your friends don't like her is one of the reasons. Some of us have allowed our friends to have an unbearing influence in our homes, in our marriages, and so they suggest and they kind of monitor what happens in the family and suggest to the spouse, don't accept this oh, the other don't accept that, and then there's friction in the family, there's disunity in the family, there's gossip in the family, and it leads to divorce and separation. Another point is gambling, alcohol, drugs, and addiction is one of the reasons, because if you have a gambling spouse, it means that there is no savings for the family cannot save, isn't it? So that gambling, alcohol, drugs abuse is responsible for a broken home. My final thought is the fact that for us to have a successful marriage, we must communicate, and there must be trust in the marriage. I hope that you are blessed with these few thoughts of mine. God bless you and have a wonderful day. My name is Joseph Atu. Thank you.